I want to talk about the last case, Hartger.
Yeah.
So before I get into the case, she had a confrontation.
Hold on. Let's give the audience a little bit. Jessica Hartger, her ex was found unconscious in 2018, who overdosed, and he left his son locked inside his place. And instead of taking custody away from him, Jessica had been arrested 9 times since August 2019, and he just got sole custody. Also,
Correct.
same town and court as the Rucky case, Sperling Hartger. Had the same cop involved named Kelly Coughlin. This is another unbelievable case.
So the way she got arrested multiple times is first they charged her. They claimed that she went to her ex's apartment, knocked on the door, and then bit him, because that happens all the time. After that, they claimed that she violated terms of her release or terms of the protective order. One of these arrests, they believed that she was at her son's school, which was in the radius she couldn't be in, but it turned out her husband, she'd gotten married. She was never married to her ex. They follow her husband to see if he's going to her just to execute an arrest warrant. They drive about 100 miles to a town that I believe is in another county. They finally find her. The way the cops described it was she was resisting arrest, so she was never charged with resisting arrest. She's thrown out of the car, thrown on the ground, on her stomach, and then as they are handcuffing her, Kelly Coughlin puts her knee on the back of her neck. What does that sound like?
And this, again, is Minnesota. This is tactics being used by Minnesota police departments.
Almost, and the way that Coughlin described, now Coughlin didn't say, put my knee on the back of her neck. She said that I was like keeping her down. Coughlin said that she was resisting while on the ground, like she was flailing her head back and forth and wouldn't allow me to handcuff her. Now, keep in mind, if you're face first, first of all, if you're flailing, I don't know how that matters. Second of all, how do you flail? Third of all, you've got her on the ground. What do you mean she's not letting you handcuff her? She's on the ground. She has no choice at that point.
Right.
3 things about that arrest. Number one, as I said, for whatever reason, they tracked her well past Lakeville, even though she's a Lakeville police officer. They didn't have the police in the town they were in. Number 2, it sounds like it's resisting arrest. If she's refusing to get out and she's flailing and she won't give you that, never charged her with resisting arrest. In the narrative, they claimed that she was being charged with a violation because she tried to call her ex and she wasn't allowed to call her ex. But when they sent it to the court, they said they were charging her with a violation because she failed to appear for a court hearing. I'm not sure actually happened. So they switched the narrative. The other thing is she's been arrested multiple times. This is the only time they claim that she was resisting arrest or acting inappropriately. One time she put it on YouTube, and that was, I think they call it the BCA, but it's the same agency now investigating the Floyd case. And there they arrested her. They gave her 3 different reasons for why she was arrested, and they didn't have an arrest warrant on them. So she's frightened, believes they're going to kill her. She's in her car, and she's I think it was on Facebook Live, and eventually wound up on YouTube. And yeah, there you go. And that's the arrest. And that's the same agency that's now going to be investigating the Floyd case to see what the cops did wrong. So if you watch this arrest, you're not going to have a lot of confidence that they're going to do it right. And Jessica believes that this is all a big setup to actually take custody away from her and her ex and eventually have her son adopted out. Her son is almost 6 years old.
Is her son, does he have special needs? Is there anything that's unusual?
I don't think her son has special needs. I think that what happens is that they scout cases for domestic violence, and then they say, this is a good case to do our little scam here. And that's what they did. And one other thing I want to note about her 8 arrests. So in almost every case, it's some sort of a violation of the terms of her release from jail. And yet she's been arrested 8 times, and yet every single time they release her, finally, she spent Mother's Day in jail. I asked Sandra Grazzini-Rucky, since all this started, and with her it was 2011, her custody started, how many Mother's Days have you spent in jail? 3. Last thing, she was arrested May 4th in the evening by Kent County, that's in Michigan. On May 5th, the temporary order giving her ex sole custody was made permanent. It's made permanent. It's called ex parte, meaning she wasn't there to argue against it. So I don't think it's a coincidence that she's arrested on May 4th, and the order to give her ex permanent, they called it permanent custody, and the judge is Ann Offerman. And one other thing, the judge then recused the county on the order. I've never even seen that before. I don't even know what that means. But the judge in her order said the county of Dakota is now recused from this case. She recused the county from a custody case.
Does that mean she's trying to just, if they appeal it, they can't get the same jury pool? What does that mean?
I think it means this thing is too hot. We've done all the damage that we need to do. Somebody else take care of it. And,
get it out of my county. I don't want it here. Just get it out.
And then it'll get, look, one thing I would say, reform, everybody says reforms. Whatever the reform is, it has to simplify it.
Right.
And this is a perfect example. You make things so complicated that there's no way to figure it out.
That's right.
In the Rucky case, I remember one of the things Sam said was her ex's attorney, Lisa Elliott, would